Welcome to CTV News, Your Canada. It is Tuesday, February the 10th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
From the taco stand to the boxing match to the jewelry vendor, Bad Bunny brought classic Latin neighborhood life straight into the Super Bowl halftime show. The game may be over, but the message from the Puerto Rican artist is still resonating for this Cinco de Mayo owner. She says seeing this authentic representation of Latin culture on display is deeply moving. She's not alone. Colombian-born Montrealer Luis Zulaga calls it a moment of visibility on one of the biggest stages in the world.
He's funny, he's extroverted, he's original, he's creative, a lot of good things, but especially meaningful for the culture.
A sentiment shared by Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez Ferrada after posting this video online, asking, is everyone ready for the Benito Bowl? She says Bad Bunny's performance landed at a critical moment.
He talked about what America is, and America is not United States. It's all of us.
Colombian Montrealer Andrea Peña says with immigration again a flashpoint in the U.S., Bad Bunny's message hit home.
It feels like sort of this statement of our culture, our people, who we are, not having to change our culture, the things that make us who we are, the sense of community, the loudness, the beauty.
For Salvador Hoy Mejia, it's also about the power of being seen.
It was more than a performance, it was more like a cultural moment.
And a reminder of what America and cities like Montreal really are.
He sent a really powerful message to the world. Unity, especially this time that we need it. We need to stay strong.
For many watching last night, the takeaway is simple. Pride, joy, and the freedom to be exactly who you are. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
3 wooden crosses, the names of junior hockey players painted on them, stand together along Highway 2 near Stavely. Family, billets and friends were seen remembering J.J. Wright and Cameron Casorso of Kamloops and Caden Fine of Alabama, all killed in a crash last week.
Feels like a warm hug to be here during an awful, awful time.
JJ's father, Chris Wright, says in the wake of his son's death, he understands why Stavely became home for JJ to live out his hockey dream.
Part of me is honestly afraid to go home. We can feel him here.
On Sunday, a benefit game in front of a packed Stavely Arena featured the Southern Alberta Mustangs and Stavely Spurs alumni team. Cameron Casorso's jersey hanging from the crossbar, his goal stick, mask and gloves positioned like they always were, ready for the next shot. Fine and Wright's stick and gloves also laid out on the ice, all part of a moment of silence ahead of puck drop.
The boys are hurting, but they're incredibly strong. We are taking things one day at a time to make sure they have the space and the support that they need.
The 3 were killed in a crash on their way to practice after colliding with a truck hauling gravel, but that driver is not at fault, according to RCMP.
There's a local truck driver that is shattered as well. They're going to drive by that memorial every single day.
As a billet family, the Dozmans hosted all 3 players.
These boys were special to all of us. And they will forever be remembered and loved by everyone.
Teammate Tyson Tozer also lived with them.
I shared a room with Caden, and there wasn't a day that went by where I didn't have a smile on my face because of that kid.
Caden Fine grew up in Alabama. He began playing hockey at age 9. He had several offers to play in his home country, but chose Stavely, nearly 3,700 kilometers away.
I'm going to miss seeing my son on the ice. Nicest kid off the ice, but when he strapped out, I mean, he was a beast, man. He wasn't going to take anything from anybody. And he messed with one of his buddies, and he was going to let you know it.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Turning them on, and they will connect to.
They may not look like it, but this row of robots is capable of creating artistic masterpieces. Once their lights turn on, the lights in the room go off, and they're ready to work.
The 2 arts that we are interested in connecting are really painting, visual arts, and music, performing arts.
University of Waterloo researchers have developed a system in which a swarm of robots listen to music and translate it into moving light trails.
These emotions are going to be mapped onto the canvas to places and times where they should release paint.
The robots move within a fixed area on the floor, or kind of like a canvas, and their movements are in response to the music they hear, including tempo and chord progression.
We work with the multi-robot systems, so that naturally, right, asks the question: how do we coordinate them? How we make them not run into each other?
They developed an algorithm to control up to 12 robots, but it can be scaled to handle any number. Technology was then created to extract and analyze musical features that express emotion.
Related to sadness, like the dark blue and this kind of violet.
Beyond the visual impact, the work explores how an artist may be able to interact with robots while they're painting.
The big picture is to get a sense from the artists, from the painters, on whether this could be an aid to paint.
Now, the researchers plan to host an art exhibition where you may be able to get one of these unique robot-created paintings.
When we saw what the robots did, then we say, oh, this looks like Monet. Okay, we were maybe a little bit too excited.
But the excitement is warranted when you consider the unlikely pairing of engineering and the arts. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Waterloo.
One of Heated Rivalry's main plot points centers around one of its main characters, Shane Hollander, coming to grips with the fact that he is queer and in love with his main hockey rival, something that is resonating with those in Regina's LGBTQ2S+ community.
I remember what it felt like to be like that. I remember that fear. I remember that I guess butterfly in the stomach when you meet somebody that you're attracted to and you want to get to know, but also the long drawn-out wait because you just didn't want anyone to know.
The show was also connecting with local chiropractor Kara House, who met her wife, Drew Black, playing the sport of hockey. And while House's marriage is a story with a happy ending, she remembers trying to keep their relationship confidential back in the late 2000s.
Our relationship, as it sort of grew into something, it was a secret. Like, it was a huge, we felt like we were doing something illegal and we felt like we were doing something wrong.
House says she was pleasantly surprised by how the story of a non-heterosexual relationship played out in the show, citing the fact that most TV and movies with a queer relationship at the center of them end up in adversity or tragedy. She admits to feeling something like that would happen in her own relationship.
And for us, it's been 19 years and nothing has ruined it. And so I think that, when I'm watching the show, that was it was a very feel-good thing to kind of watch.
And according to Davis, Heated Rivalry has been a unifying force for the queer community.
One of the beauties about the LGBTQ+IA community is that we tend to commute and sort of find our own family, and we adopt our own family, and we tend to stick for life when it comes to that. So when you see that camaraderie within the characters in this show, it's amazing.
A force that is sure to continue on, as the hit series was greenlit for a second season in December. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
On any given day, you'll find Jack and Trudy Thielen tending to their tulip crop. From sorting, to cutting, to wrapping, the duo does it every week in time for Saturdays, when Jack takes the freshly picked flowers to Edmonton's Old Strathcona Farmers Market, usually running out within hours of opening.
Yeah, 10 o'clock this morning, we're out.
The owners of Tulip Farm Red Deer take a unique approach when growing their flowers, planting them in water rather than soil, and adding fertilizers to them in their custom-built greenhouse. But their business didn't grow overnight.
It was not an easy start, but over the years we've learned how to do things, why the climate is different, why things are growing different for tulips here in Alberta.
After working as florists in Holland, they intended to leave flowers behind altogether after immigrating to Canada in the late 90s. Their passion brought them back into bloom.
We bought bare land with nothing on it, no road, no nothing, and slowly and surely built what we have right now.
Their greenhouse will hold 30,000 bulbs at any given time. While they're able to increase their current operation, they believe in the freshness of their flowers over quantity.
And we really stand for what we want, and that's the best quality. So instead of pushing higher volume, we're pushing for higher quality.
It's that quality that keeps bringing customers back to the farmers market every week.
Good quality, they're beautiful, I like the smell in the house.
They're always quite stunning.
this time of year kind of starts to bring out the spring in the air a little bit. So, you know, the end is coming close when the flowers start popping out.
Like, we really do it out of our heart, and that makes it for us.
You need to have the passion, but without passion you can't do it.
Yeah.
With Valentine's Day fast approaching, you may want to get to the market early for those fresh cut flowers, and you can bet Jack will be there bright and early this and every Saturday. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Red Deer County.
Our cousin group is very interesting.
As Jamie Lynn Sluman was growing up, her close cousin Chris was always seen as her brother.
He's got a big smile on his face, and he is, you know, just going through life in just such a joyful way.
In early January, Chris was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia in adults and has been hospitalized in Sudbury ever since, going through chemotherapy treatment, with his wife and young daughter by his side.
He's had a really hard time with the chemotherapy and basically sleeping 21, 22 hours a day, not when he is awake, not really himself.
Chris's sister-in-law, an oncologist in the United States, learned of 2 drugs that give him the best chance at recovery.
If he just got chemotherapy and this specific TKI drug, the chances that he will be in remission is about 70%. And if he gets blinatumomab and ponatinib, the chances is he would be in remission is about 90%.
Both drugs are approved by Health Canada but are not funded. Chris would need 5 rounds of treatment. After the drug companies offered a reduced price, the cost is pegged at a whopping $330,000.
We're just going to keep going until we get it all.
The family learned that if Chris had a slightly different type of leukemia, the drugs would be covered. They've written to area MPPs, the Ministry of Health, and Premier Doug Ford, requesting the loophole be closed.
Ministry of Health is pushing, along with the Canada Drug Agency, to look at whether they're able in Canada to accept it's the combination of those 2 drugs.
Meanwhile, the communities of North Bay and Huntsville have come together to support Chris's fight, raising over $136,000. There will be a community fundraiser on February 21st at Gateway City Brewery, which is already sold out.
It's pretty easy to say that we're absolutely, all of us are shocked and overwhelmed with gratitude.
And while the family knows Chris has a long fight ahead of him, they're ready to be at his side every step of the way.
We're really confident that we're going to be able to pull together.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Art meets storytelling in a new exhibition at the Cedar Ridge Creative Center.
Keepers of Identity is my story, moving to Canada, living in Canada, existing in Canada.
Shagun Caesar came to Canada from Nigeria in 2021. His work, a representation of what it's like to find a sense of self in a new landscape, starting with the Mondrian-style grid paintings.
So I'm placing black subjects against that background because when I came in, it felt like the old system would swallow me all. So I felt like I needed to do something so I can be seen.
The Mondrian-style images represents one of 3 sectors of the exhibition, each room a different chapter.
Was why I decided to I'm showing like 3 collections. I'm telling the whole story of my life in Canada, and it's been amazing.
Finishing with the visual of beginning to open up and explore a sense of belonging.
In some cases, you see them like they are like more covered up. In some like this one, they are like not even like covered up at all. So this is like a very delicate balance between survival and surrender.
Showcasing the evolution of maintaining culture and celebrating the Black diaspora, all while connecting to a new home. Keepers of Identity here at the Cedar Ridge Creative Center is free to attend and will be in place through to February 25th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Inside this lab at the University of Saskatchewan, researchers are testing solar cells.
We can simulate the same light that we have from the sun and see how much of that light is converted to electricity, right?
The researchers want to make solar energy more efficient as artificial intelligence drives up the demand for power.
Just the sheer amount of data processing that goes into having AI think
is tremendous. And so that takes electricity, and that electricity has to come from somewhere.
To help meet that demand, the scientists are studying a new type of solar cell made from perovskite crystals, a material that could become an alternative to traditional silicon panels.
The advantage of perovskite panels, in preference to silicon, their manufacturing is a lot more straightforward, a lot less energy intensive, but it's still a very new technology, and we're still looking to develop it and get it out to market.
The researchers are using technology at the Canadian Light Source to track how well these solar cells generate electricity in real time.
That's a little bit like if you could imagine trying to bake a cake, but without having to open the oven door. If you could know how that cake was baking in the oven, imagine how it was tasting, and know exactly when it was done, that's sort of what we were doing, only with this new technology.
Kelly says even small improvements in solar technology could make a big difference in meeting current and future energy needs. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Derek Noppy is picking out one final guitar at Steve's music store before it closes its doors.
I was shocked. I didn't expect. They've been around forever. It's sad.
The Ottawa musician says it will be a sweet memory of the store, which has played an important role in the city's music scene for decades.
I think every musician has probably shopped here at one point or another, so it's meant a lot just from the expertise of talking to guys about gear and whatnot here. It's amazing. It's sad to say.
It first opened on Rideau Street in 1981 and last year moved to a new location on Catherine Street.
It was a place where you'd go and find, your forever guitar. Well, until the next one, because guitar players are guitar players.
Manager Dan Sauvé says this has been a place for everyone to foster their musical passion, from enthusiasts to professionals and even politicians.
Fun fact, but every prime minister since Joe Clark has bought an instrument on their way out of retirement, including the last one. On his way to Mark Carney's swearing-in ceremony, he swung by to pick up a keyboard he ordered.
Sauvé says the closures are part of a restructuring. The retailer is set to shut down nearly all of its locations in Ontario and Quebec, with the exception of one in downtown Montreal and its online store.
Well, Steve's is a bit iconic, right?
I'm going to pick up a hat from Steve's, which is going to be very cool because, as I say, they are very much a part of my history, and my name's Steve.
Customers like Mike Murphy say they will miss the store.
Losing an icon, sort of a part of my youth, part of the music scene and everything. So Steve's going down. It's like we've lost a player,
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
25 years ago feels like yesterday. But let's not make this a somber event. Let's make it a celebration.
Rob Redmond recalls the day his father Dennis was killed in the line of duty in St. Thomas, falling from an upper floor window. He carries on his legacy as a firefighter.
It's full of ups and downs, but to be truthfully honest, I'm honored to be here with this department, following in my father's footsteps.
Captain Dennis Redmond taught us something else, that we must live and make every moment count.
A ceremony with dignitaries and retired firefighters was held at Station 1 to honor Captain Redmond and his family.
My father was a big advocate for the fire service. Everybody knows that, including myself. So he was a big proponent for me, to push me in this direction. To honor that and honor that legacy, speaks volumes.
And there's about to be a third-generation Redmond. Rob's daughter, Danielle, is an aspiring firefighter and was just accepted to the Lambton College Fire Program.
Looking at the fire service, family's a big aspect in it. And then just looking back at my family, my grandpa and my dad, seeing them, it's kind of like a big drive for me to do something that I'm passionate about and follow their footsteps.
To commemorate the 25th anniversary of Captain Redmond's passing, the fire department has created a special challenge coin. It has Captain Redmond's face on the one side and the fire department logo on the other.
I'd like Rob and his family to be the first to accept
this challenge coin. This commemorates his memory and will forever be on a coin that we can share and give out to members of our department, retirees, and his family. It's a great honor to be able to have this coin and have it in his memory.
The coin will be available to the public at St. Thomas Fire Station 1.
To have his name and have his picture on that coin, speaks volumes to, how this department, memorializes not only its past members, but its current members and future members as well.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
It's not everywhere you would see this many people at a high school hockey game. In fact, it might be unique to Riverview High School's Red Cup.
It's crazy. It's so much fun. There's so much school spirit. It's amazing. You don't understand it until you're actually in the crowd.
That crowd was standing room only for Sunday's championship game between the host Riverview Ravens and the Glace Bay Panthers. With police on hand to ensure student safety, the annual tournament is like the school's Super Bowl or its winter carnival.
It's the best part of the school year, and it's so worth it to just look forward to it, and then it finally gets here, and it's unbelievable. Yeah.
The home crowd, many of them dressed in red and white, the school's colors, have plenty to cheer for as Riverview shot out to an early lead.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I went to this high school and grew up in Glace Bay.
Cape Breton Eagles forward Rory Pilling was on enemy territory cheering on the visitors. Still, the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League player was impressed by the home crowd.
We don't even get these kind of fans sometimes. It's pretty special, and these guys are lucky to have such a crowd like this to play in front of.
So why does this event get this kind of cult classic treatment? No one seems to know exactly, though it might simply boil down to one word: tradition.
We make sure everyone gets here. We make announcements, posters, we spread the word. And it's not only our school, it's the community too, which is really special. There's no way this could be possible without all the teachers and staff.
The game ended the way the script called for, with a 6-1 win for the home team. A salute from the Red Cup champions to their adoring fans, and a water bottle shower for the winning goalie.
All the pictures, we'll keep them with us, and all these memories, it's just amazing. Yeah, and to get to come back and see the games later on when we're older, and hopefully the crowd and the energy just stays the same.
Memories made, ones that many of these students will one day look back upon as one of the highlights of their high school years. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Coxheath, Nova Scotia.
Well, Adele Hatch can walk to the water now. She recalls being driven there as a child, thanks to her mom, Doreen, being the only woman on the street with a license.
Every other woman and the kids were stuck at home unless the husbands took them.
So Doreen would regularly squeeze Adele and her sisters, plus a few of her friends, into the back of her Beetle and embark on an adventure at the beach.
I will call her a force of nature, a fabulous force of nature.
During one of those beach days, Doreen discovered a remarkable piece of driftwood, strapped it on the Beetle, and drove it to her garden, where it sat on display for more than 30 years.
It was wonderful.
After Doreen died, Adele showcased the log in her yard for 2 decades, until she happened upon the work of driftwood artist Tanya Bob and offered it to her.
And I said, you'll do much more with it than I will ever do.
So Tanya gratefully accepted it, and like her previous work, expected to use it as a component in the construction of some sort of creature.
I would sort of look at the thing and I'm like, no, it's not a bear. And I'd be like, okay, come back 2 months later. I don't see a Sasquatch here.
It wasn't until a year later that Tanya finally saw it as kelp waving in the water. Was inspired to start bending chicken wire into a shape she could perch on top of the stump, and eventually made a massive mermaid that she named the Fabulous Doreen.
And I can't believe it. I couldn't believe.
Adele couldn't believe 2 things. First, she'd never told Tanya about Doreen's passion.
My mother loved mermaids, absolutely loved them.
And second, Adele had never shown Tanya any photos of her mom, let alone this picture of Doreen perched on a wall with her arms stretched out in a strikingly similar pose.
I couldn't believe that was basically my mom in mermaid form.
And while it could be coincidence, and certainly serendipity, maybe, they say, it's something more magical.
I think she kind of inhabited that wood a little bit and was a little bit whispering in my ear.
But no matter the explanation, Tanya's donating proceeds of its sale to a charity in Doreen's name, and Adele is hoping whoever takes the mermaid home is inspired to be fabulous in the same way Doreen was.
Find something you enjoy and bring that joy to others as well.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.